stop scrolling. What I'm about to tell you was never taught in history books, and once you notice it, you can't unsee it. We were told that ancient humans were primitive, that they lived in caves, that they had no real knowledge, that they were simply trying to survive. But if that is true, then who built what we can still see today? Because across the world, there are ancient structures that make one simple idea feel impossible. Primitive people do not build with this level of precision. And I'm not saying this to be dramatic. I'm saying it because when you look at the evidence, real physical structures made of stone, the story we were taught starts to fall apart. Let's start with something simple. When you see an ancient site in a documentary, people often say, "Wow, that's old," and then they move on. But age isn't the most interesting part. The most interesting part is accuracy. There are stone blocks, massive blocks, that are cut so cleanly and fitted so tightly that in some places you can't even slide a thin blade between them. No cement, no glue, no modern machinery sitting next to the site. Just perfectly shaped stone meeting perfectly shaped stone, like a puzzle. Now think about what that actually means. In the modern world, precision is expensive. Precision requires tools. Precision requires planning. Precision requires measurements, standards, and sometimes laser-level accuracy. So the question isn't, did ancient people build things? Of course they did. The real question is, how did they build things that require precision we still admire today? Because if you want to cut hard stone perfectly, you normally need advanced equipment. If you want to move extremely heavy stones, you need engineering solutions. If you want to align structures, you need knowledge, mathematics, geometry, planning. And yet history books often give us a simple explanation. They were primitive, but they worked very hard. Hard work alone doesn't create precision. Hard work alone doesn't create engineering. Knowledge does. And that's where the hidden past begins. Because once you accept the possibility that some ancient civilizations had advanced knowledge, everything changes. Suddenly, you realize that the story of human history might not be a straight line. It might not be caves, then farming, then cities, then modern life. It could be something else, something more complex. It could include civilizations that reached a high level of understanding and then collapsed, disappeared, or were forgotten. Now, I'm not here to claim a single wild explanation. I'm not here to say aliens did it. I'm not here to say magic did it. I'm here to ask the honest question. If the mainstream story is correct, why do these structures still confuse modern engineers? Because even today, when experts study certain ancient sites, you will often hear phrases like, "We don't fully know how they achieved this," or "This level of precision is remarkable." Remarkable is one way to say it. Another way to say it is, "This does not match the story we were taught." And the deeper you go, the stranger it becomes. Because it's not only about stones, it's about systems, it's about planning, it's about knowledge that appears, then vanishes. Some ancient civilizations clearly understood the sky. They mapped stars, they tracked seasons, they aligned structures with incredible accuracy. And some left behind signs of complex mechanisms, designs that look simple at first, but feel advanced the moment you think about how they were created. So here is the uncomfortable idea. Maybe ancient humans were not as primitive as we were told. Maybe some of them understood far more than we give them credit for. And if that is true, then we have to ask another question, a question history doesn't like. Why were we never taught this? Why do most schools focus on a clean, simple timeline while these complicated details are treated like side stories? Why do we hear mystery and then the subject quickly changes? Because the truth is uncomfortable. It forces us to admit that we do not fully understand our own past, and that is difficult for a society that prides itself on modern knowledge. But there's another reason too. Knowledge is power, and throughout history, power has always controlled information. Not all knowledge was shared with everyone. Some knowledge was protected, guarded, hidden, sometimes to keep society stable, sometimes to keep control in the hands of a few. So imagine this. What if some knowledge from the ancient world was lost during collapses, wars, and disasters? What if it disappeared when civilizations fell? What if the people who held it were wiped out and only the silent stone structures remained? Or what if some knowledge was intentionally buried because it was considered too dangerous? Now, when I say dangerous, I don't mean supernatural. I mean human way. Dangerous to authority, dangerous to control, dangerous to a world where people are easier to manage when they believe they are insignificant. Because if humanity once achieved more than we were told, then the limits we accept today begin to look less permanent. And that is a powerful thought. So the point of this video is not to force you into one theory. The point is to wake you up to a fact. Our history is incomplete. What we know is selected, filtered, simplified, and every time we find something that doesn't fit, we label it a mystery and move on. But we shouldn't move on, because these structures are still here. They exist in the real world. They are not just stories, and they deserve real questions. So the next time someone says ancient humans were primitive, ask them one simple question. Could primitive people build this? Because maybe history is not what we were told, and maybe the past we lost was far more advanced than we ever imagined. If you want more videos exploring hidden history and ancient mysteries, subscribe to The Hidden Past, because some truths are only found by those who keep searching.